Hey everyone, my name is Alina. I am here at the amazing, beautiful Upaya Retreat Center, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Get Your Shit Together retreat. I'm so lucky and grateful to have been able to go to the last one last month in January. It's only been 3 weeks and I have already seen immense change. My parents tell me almost every day how much I've changed for the better. I am manifesting my dream life. I'm becoming the person who I've always wanted to be but always been too scared to or put excuses. It's amazing, to say the least. It is amazing. It is the one thing that if I could share with everyone, I would share this. It's hosted by the amazing Amy Joy. She's my beautiful friend and mentor, and I am so immensely grateful for her, for teaching me all of this, for giving me all the tools and the new tools in my toolbox. It is all about oneness and growth, personal growth, spiritual growth, and about manifesting the life that you want, becoming the person you want to be. So yeah, this is something that is interesting to you. It is here at Upaya. There's amazing food. 7 people who were complete strangers and turned them into a family who adores each other in 6 days. Amazing. I talk to those people every day. I have so much love for them because we grew together and we learned together. So if this is something that you would like to do, if this is something that's calling you, please go. It will change your life. I know it has changed mine, and everyone who came has changed forever.
Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life-hack-full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Happy Thursday and congratulations on your abundance. I want you to take a minute right now and just notice. I love starting the show like this because there's a program out there, a really strong one, that says we're not enough, she's not enough, he's not enough, the job's not enough. And it's simply not true. There's so much abundance. We have everything that we need inside. Notice that too. Notice that too. It's the most important part. So congratulations on your abundance. Woo! It's an amazing show. I am super excited to have the incredible Derek Rydall with us. He is an author, he is a speaker, and a transformational teacher. He's so much in alignment with me and the show and what we're here to do. I'm so excited to pick his brain and to hear his nuggets. Today, we're going to talk about how to overcome any challenge. Life, this earth school we live in, is full of challenges. And what if we knew exactly what to do to overcome any challenge? That's what we're going to learn today. I'm super excited for that. Stay tuned to the end for Mantra Magic and the meditation moment. And then, of course, at the very end, we're going to listen to Derek's number one nugget he would share with the world. Thank you for spending your time and energy here with me and us today. Amazing. All right. It is now time to change your state, elevate. We have a surprise guest today. Derek is going to join us, and he's going to share how one of the many tools he has to change his state. Welcome, Derek.
Hey there. So let's just take a moment and step out of the matrix. This is how I begin every day and every renewed moment, as we stop and drop within and take a deep breath into the back of your heart and exhale the past completely. Feel it unhook and let it go. The past, the whole past, is just a memory. And breathe into the front of your heart and release. Breathe out the future. Let it go. The future is just a fantasy. Feel yourself relaxing in your chest, your abdomen, your back, as you really let go of memory and fantasy, which is past and future. And one more deep breath into both the front and the back. As you exhale and let go even of what we call the present is mostly imagination. Past, present, future. These are tenses of time. They are the frames of the film strip in our mind. They are part of the movie that is running, but they are not real. They are not reality. As you breathe and let it all go, step out of the simulation of the mind. Step out of the matrix, out of the storyline. And what remains is all unlimited potential. The light of the projector, not the film strip. Infinite, unlimited potential. Breathe it in, open up, and drink from the fountain of you. Open up to the well of your being. As right now I know that all of infinite, unlimited abundance, infinite love, infinite peace, infinite joy, infinite genius and wisdom, the inexhaustible creative force of the universe that is creating solar systems is now free and clear to pour forth through and to and as each and every one of you right now. Open up, throw open your heart and soul to receive the infinite, unconditional and unconditioned life and love and power that has never been touched by conditions and can never be denied or diminished. It's here, it's now, tag, you're it. And so it is.
So it is. Wow. Thank you so much, Derek. I'll have you back on in just a minute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, I really love the part where he said memories and fantasy. Memories and fantasy. It's right here, right now, that matters. And everything is so beautiful and perfect in this moment. We're breathing, our heart's beating. It's amazing. All right, it is now time to get our shit together. Very excited to introduce Derek Rydall. As a transformational leader and best-selling author of multiple books, including Emergence, 7 Steps for Radical Life Change, and The Abundance Project, 40 Days to More Wealth, Health, Love, and Happiness, Derek has spent 20 years dedicated to guiding hundreds of thousands of individuals through the profound shifts happening on our rapidly changing planet, showing them how to tap into their inner technologies to evolve their humanity, become irreplaceable, and make a bigger impact. Ooh. He's overcome some of the most profound personal hardships, including divorce, the loss of a fortune, and the heartbreaking death of his son, to build a global coaching platform that helps hundreds of thousands of people live their greatest life. As a consultant, Derek has coached top executives at Fortune 500 companies in empowered leadership and cultural transformation, as well as celebrities and media professionals, including Oscar and Emmy winners, in creating content that uplifts and transforms. He shared stages, virtual and live, with luminaries including Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, Michael Beckwith, and Wayne Dyer. Woo, some of my faves. And in this podcast, in his podcast, Emergence, with millions of downloads, he teaches timeless principles for activating our deepest potential and living our truest purpose. Put your hands together. We are so blessed to have the amazing Derek Rydall. Thank you so much for being here, Derek.
It's my honor and pleasure, truly. I love your energy. I also noticed a few of my peeps in your videos, so that's so much fun.
Yay. Of course we have some people in common,
Yes.
like this world is really not that big.
That's
and
right.
Our mutual amazing friend, Larry Michael, shout out to him. He's the bridge that connected us. So thank you, Larry. You're
Yes.
the best.
Yes.
So thank you for being here. We want to talk today about how to overcome any challenge.
Yes.
And you have had some real life stuff. So
Yes.
I think that's the beauty, right, of going through those things, is now we can actually speak with real wisdom and confidence because we're on the other side. We're on the other side, and on the other side of our trauma and pain is so much freedom. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about you that I didn't explain in the bio, and
Absolutely.
and what can you share with us?
Yeah, and I certainly, it's an opportunity to learn and discover truths, and it's also an opportunity to practice and confirm that the principles you're living by are true, right? It's the test. It's the opportunity to see, what are you really made of? What are you really made for? And for me, my journey started years ago, over 20 years ago, when I'd been struggling to improve myself and improve my life for many years, and like so many people are. And after many years of self-improvement, the only thing I'd improved was my ability to describe why my life was so messed up. And I could tell you all the things that had happened and how they had changed me and my beliefs, but I was still incredibly neurotic and messed up. And it got so frustrating trying to improve my life that I eventually got addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I almost died of an overdose.
Wow.
And so that was my first opportunity to see what I was really made of. And I couldn't understand how all of my efforts had gotten me to such a breaking point like that. And the doctor said I was lucky to be alive, and I certainly didn't feel lucky. So I think I just needed to work harder or work smarter or attract better or something, right? And it helped a little bit in the beginning, and I ended up doing a movie in Jamaica, and everything was falling apart again. And I remember praying to get lost from it all, and I went diving in a coral reef, and I got lost in the reef. So first of all, be careful what you pray for, kids. And I was stuck in this looked like an Indiana Jones booby trap tomb underwater. Giant spikes of coral everywhere, fire coral everywhere. I couldn't touch anything. I was underwater. Nobody knew I was there. Nobody was coming for me. And I was trapped. And for a long time, and the sun was beginning to set, and I tried to make a deal with the universe. I was like, please, God, I'll go to church on Sunday. And the universe was not playing let's make a deal. And eventually, I knew I wasn't going to make it out alive. I was exhausted. I was done. And I was completely stuck. And I knew I wasn't going to make it. And there was a moment of real and unconditional surrender. And in that moment of surrender, of really letting go, there was a flash of light and there was a vision. And I'm getting chills again when I think about it. And I saw that this individual I've been trying to fix, change, heal, make better, make stronger, he was a fictional character. He was an amalgamation of parental fantasy and peer pressure and societal conditioning. And nothing I would ever do would make him enough. But there was another me there. And this other me had never been hurt, never been damaged, never been diminished. So there was nothing to fix. And this other me was already whole and complete and perfect. So there was nothing to improve upon. Now, again, I didn't understand it all in the moment, and I didn't have all these words. It was like, I saw it. And in the next moment, I was standing outside of the coral reef on this one place of coral that I couldn't see. I don't know how I got there, but I was free. And I was looking down where I'd been stuck, and the exit had been behind me just a few inches the whole time. Couldn't see it. And the whole coral reef was a metaphor for my life. I'd been swimming through this maze, gasping for air, following brightly colored things, praying to get lost, and now it was manifested in real life in front of me. But everything had this shimmering luminosity now. Everywhere I looked, I could see the light behind all things. And I was able to swim off the other side of that coral, and I was free from the reef. But something snapped inside of me. As I like to say, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and there was no more putting Humpty Dumpty back together. I'd cracked open. And I won't go into all the details, but I pulled out of society and I became a monk for real for a little while. And that monk life didn't work out too well. So I cloistered myself in my apartment, and I continued this inward journey. But in that period, I understood what the vision had meant. And I'll just briefly describe it, and then we can continue to go on because it's going to connect to everything. I saw that just as there's a pattern for the oak inside the acorn, or the pattern, and not just one oak, but infinite oaks, and the pattern for the apple tree, and not just one, but infinite apples and apple pie and all that. It's all in the pattern within the seed. And the apple tree or the acorn, it does not attract an oak to it. It does not achieve an oak. It does not, go out there and put an oak together. The acorn is not an inadequate oak tree just because it's a seed. It's a perfect acorn. But when the acorn surrenders to the soil and the conditions become congruent with the pattern within the seed, its purpose, its potential naturally emerges and becomes the oak tree. And I saw that was true of everything in life. Everything comes from a seed, including you and me, including the whole universe. And it seems to come out of nothing. It's just no scientist has ever found an oak tree inside an acorn. They cannot actually explain how this little nothing becomes, as Jesus would say, the faith of a mustard seed, this tiny little seed. It comes from the quantum field, and it comes from where it's always at. Another analogy real quick is right now your favorite music is playing, but you cannot hear it. It's not manifest unless you know what station it's on and you tune the dial and the frequency so your frequency matches. When that happens, the station becomes manifest, or you have a manifestation. Where was the music before? It was right here. It wasn't in the future. It wasn't in the past. It was now. But you had to be attuned to it. You didn't attract it. You didn't achieve it. You didn't make it happen. You made it welcome. And when I understood that, I realized that most of my efforts to go out and make it happen and attract it and achieve it, and especially from a consciousness or an identity of I'm lacking, I'm broken, I'm not enough, there's not enough, that was creating all the static on my radio station so that I couldn't hear the music. That was creating all the resistance to what is otherwise a natural process of emergence. And again, how all of nature grows and how we were meant to grow. And I went from broken and suicidal to turning my whole life around in the next year, and over the next few years becoming financially independent, falling in love, and all the things I've been straining and struggling for began to blossom. Now, again, that wasn't the end of my challenges, and we're going to talk about those today, but I want everybody to understand there is a principle at root here that when you really understand it and you learn how to work with it, you'll see as we talk more, it's behind everything, this idea. And I'm sure you already understand this idea very well. So.
I love that analogy so much. As you can see, I love trees. I am one of those classic tree huggers. I will be driving and I'm like, stop the car. I have to run and hug a tree. So yes, I love that analogy so much. What really spoke to me in that was the acorn didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Didn't have to
surrender and allow.
Yes, because we create at the frequency at which we vibrate.
Yes.
Whew. So this is why we change our state. This is why everything we have here on Get Your Shit Together is about raising our vibration, raising our level of consciousness. Because when we do that, then we're creating and magnetizing something at that frequency versus the fear, guilt, shame, and the lower vibrations, right? So love that so much. So go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things is just, and to understand, if you guys can get this, it's a complete script flip. It's a Jedi flip, is that, and it's subtle, but it's not subtle, but it creeps into all the things we do, is that the truth, the real big truth, the good news, the God spell, the gospel, the truth is that everything you could ever want, hope for, desire, or need to be all that you were made to be and more than you can imagine is already here right now. That's why I did that opening state change, because the biggest obstacle is that we are living in a matrix in our mind. We're living in a story, and that story or that hypnotic spell that you didn't create, it's not your fault, it's a universal belief, is that we're separate from God or good, love, joy, abundance, connection, compassion, companionship, that we're separate from things, and we have to now, do a bunch of stuff to get it or to get rid of something. But the truth is it's already here, you're already it, but you've been hypnotized to believe that it's not there, or you've been hypnotized to see blocks and obstacles that aren't also really there. And if you understand hypnotism, you can have a plant in front of you and believe it's a bunch of dangerous snakes, and you're going to be acting like you're in danger. Or you can be sitting there free to leave the stage, but believe there's a wall in front of you and not be able to get past it. And that's what's happening to all of us to a lesser or greater degree. So if we can become dehypnotized, or awake is another word we've heard, we'll see that it's already done. It's already here. This is what all the great masters were teaching. Heaven is not a place you go to. It's here now. It's not here physically. It's here spiritually. It's here in consciousness. It's here invisibly, like those radio waves that appear as your music. But when you are tuned into it, you can live in heaven now, and then it manifests as your station, as your music, as your whatever. So.
Yes, you can live in heaven now. Yes, yes, yes. I love my life, and I love that we are together creating heaven on earth.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. And so many others like us. And you can feel it. It's like, it's changing. It's changing. The world's changing. It's waking up. And what a glorious thing to wake up. Because when you wake up, you're no longer a zombie. You're no longer in the 95 percentile of your mind, the subconscious. You're now able to choose.
Yes.
That's the heavens opening.
That is the heaven. And heaven means ever expanding good. So it's a never ending, ever expanding, unfolding. Life is infinite. And it's just forever unfolding, the lotus blooming eternally, the order amidst what appears to be chaos, forever unfolding and unfolding. And it's true, waking up is ultimately wonderful. And though some of you probably know, there's been many times you've been woken up when you didn't want to be, and you're like, oh no, let me go back to sleep. Or, you're in a dark room for a while and your eyes adjust to the dark, and somebody comes along and wants to turn on the light. And they're like, let there be light. And they flick the switch and you're like, no, get away. You're doing that to me. So yes, waking up and turning on the light is ultimately what we want. But it's also important to know that in the areas where we most need to wake up and turn on the light is often in the area where we are most resistant. And as the awakening happens, which we can see on the planet, it doesn't always immediately look like roses and, cherries and rainbows.
No, exactly. Earth school is tricky. Earth school is tricky. So practically, Derek, how do we overcome any challenge?
Yeah, well, so the first thing is to understand, as I already started off with, have a proper understanding of the nature of how life grows and how life emerges. and begin to, because the story you're creating is based on the premise of your story. If the premise is I'm broke or broken or separate, I'm just this poor little person, or my parents were this and therefore I am this, whatever your story is, there's a premise, and that determines your story, and it also determines what happens in the story and where you end up, right? So you have to change the premise. And the premise is, no matter what conditions, no matter what story, his story, history, that's the Adam story, or the fall from paradise, it's a story. And so first thing is to understand what we're talking about is that you actually are what I saw in the vision, whole and complete. And then you have to begin to, you can't just know the knowledge. Faith without works is dead. You have to now ask sincerely. If it's resonating at all, even a little bit of it, you begin to ask, if I really believed that, if I really believed that, how would I first treat myself? And then, if I really believe that, how would I begin to show up in my life? And then if I really believe that, how would I begin to treat others? So, the first 2 commandments in the Judeo-Christian is love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. Spiritually, not religiously, this means love the truth of you with all your heart and soul. Love the spirit within you with all of your being. And love is the force that meets the needs of every seed in creation so that it can flower and flourish. So loving you, loving the God of your being, means loving that divine purpose, loving that seed pattern, loving yourself, which is not the same as trying to fix yourself or crack a whip or push yourself, or, it's loving the precious idea and pattern and purpose for which you are here. And as you do that, it will start to flower. It will start to take root, and it will start to bear fruit. And then you share those fruits with the world. You extend your love now, love your neighbor as yourself, love your so-called enemy. As you do that, you increase the circulation of your power, of your love force and life force. And now you start to grow and get stronger, no matter what situation you're in. So that's the first thing, starting with that foundation. The second thing is understanding that the obstacle, or what's in the way, is the way. And that when the forest fire rages through the jack pine in the forest, it's not against the jack pine. It's burning open the seed pods. It's opening up the canopy. It's burning away the detritus and the dead wood. It's fertilizing the soil. It's creating the next right and ripe condition for the new seeds of life to be born. If the jack pine could pray away the fire, or have a vision board where fires never happen, or affirm, I'm safe, fires never happen, and if it succeeded, it would fail to thrive ultimately and eventually die out as a species. And there are many, many species. Most species, they need the challenge to cause an evolutionarily adaptive response that brings forth their potential. And we're
including us.
Exactly. We're no different. You're here because of the billions of experiments of evolution that we're saying, let's see, 1 eye, 2 eyes, left arm, right arm, a wing, and it's like, oops, I'm dead. Let's try again. And it's trying to find out how to have more life and more complex consciousness. And so, but what allowed it to grow was it ran into a challenge. If it didn't run into a challenge, it would have just stayed a 1-cell amoeba. But because it hit a challenge, it's like, I need to be more, right? If you go to the gym, you don't pray that all the weights go away.
No.
You lift the weight, it tears a muscle, but then it sends a signal. We need more energy there. And it transmutes and it makes everything efficient to send more energy there, and your muscle gets bigger. Same thing happens with our heart, our brain, our mind, etc.
And the extreme is true. If you were sick and in bed and couldn't move, someone would have to literally come in and move you and create resistance, or else you become a bag of bones in the bed and you'll die. So we literally die without resistance, without weights. We don't exist. So
Exactly.
why would we
Think about
pursue the weights that make us stronger? It's a little loopy.
Exactly. Well, it is loopy, and it didn't used to always be entirely that way. But, there was the old Protestant work ethic that had the notion that hard work was good, and it still is, but it was coming still from a place of separation. It was like, I'm nothing yet. I'm an empty shell. But if I work really, really hard, I can fill my shell up and maybe grow into a tree. So it was still coming from a separation and a limitation, but the ability and the willingness to face challenge nevertheless created what we would call the greatest generation, in the sense that it created individuals, men and women alike, that had resilience, that had capacity, that could do difficult things. And there's an old saying, what is it? Tough men create good times create weak men create tough times. And so there's something about that. It's a principle. And of course, same with women. That's just an old saying.
Yeah.
So it's an understanding. Now, as we moved into like self-help and the new age and what happened, and in this generation, we've been conditioned. There's a lot of psychological reasons we don't have to go into, but we have been conditioned to some extent to believe if it's hard, that means it's not the right way.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes. Crap.
And that is not. It's right? And in fact, get your shit together, and when you run into a pile of shit, well, what is shit? Ultimately, it's meant to become fertilizer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what is fertilizer, and what is the dark, dank, smelly soil? What is it made of? Not just the nitrates and all this negative stuff, but like the fertilizer that's made out of shit and also made out of the dirt. It's made out of everything that is died and decomposed. Yeah. So it's concentrated death, but it's also the pure raw substance of all of life.
Yes.
Like
there's a gift in everything, even in the shit.
Even in the shit. Like the old saying goes, with all this horse shit, there's got to be a pony somewhere in here, right?
That's right. I love that one.
And so yes, and there's also another term for shit we might call our shadows. Those things that we have judgment that are bad, those things that we deny, that we repress, that we ignore, that we push away. Again, there's a whole big conversation there. Maybe we won't have time today, but that's a part of it, because whatever you resist persists. Whatever you fight, you fuel. Whatever you run away from, it's running after you. Like you're like Peter Pan's shadow. And so you have to embrace the challenge. But in the seed of that challenge is the seed of your next opportunity, of your next flush of growth, right? And that's the thing you have to understand, that as I was saying, all these different examples in nature, the chicken and the egg has to struggle without any food. It runs out of food. It gets cramped. It's smelly. It's living in its own refuse. And because of that, it doesn't complain about the cramped. It doesn't complain about being hungry. It doesn't complain that it smells. It puts its attention on, but where is the nourishment here? In the midst of this cramped, smelly, empty place, where's the nourishment? And as it pecks, looking for nourishment, not looking for who to blame, not looking for how to complain, where's the nourishment? It finds the food that sustains it. It strengthens its neck and lungs, and it cracks the shell open, and it releases it into a new world. But now, if somebody came along and said, poor little chicken, you don't have enough food, it's smelly and cramped, let me take you out of that. That chicken would die. That little chick would fail to thrive. It wouldn't have developed its lungs and its wing muscles, and it would not be able to live in the larger world. It needed that challenge, but it's designed to look for the good, to look for the opportunity. Whereas we as humans have metacognition, we can think about what we're thinking about, and we tell stories. And that's also one of our gifts, but it's also one of our challenges, because if we have the challenge and we tell the story, why me, must be my karma, must be my parents, must be I'm not good enough, must be I'm not this, that, or the other enough. That's not true. That's just a story you put on top of it. The truth is that is happening for you to grow. It's happening to show you what you believe so you can change it. It's a mirror. You step in front of a mirror and you notice your zipper's down. You don't go, why me? Why is this happening? You go, oh, thanks for showing me. Thanks for telling me. And you you go to a friend and they say, you got food in your tooth. You don't go, why is this happening? You go, thanks for letting me know where I'm at. And so that's what the challenge is for. And the chronic challenges, the ones that endure, are a message that you are trying to stay safe in a worldview that is too small for you now.
Say that again. Say that again, please.
The chronic challenges in your life are a message that you are trying to stay safe, stay safe, stay comfortable in a worldview that is too small, or just in a world that is too small. And here's why it's creating a chronic challenge. You've already activated the bigger world. And here's how it might look. You're praying or affirming or doing practices to have more abundance in your life, more wealth, let's just say, whatever it is, more love, more wealth, more health, more joy. Well, okay, let's say, I remember doing this. I was praying for more patience and I could feel it. And I was like, yes, guess what happened for the next 6 months? I had a job where I had to be in rush hour traffic every single day. And I had never been more angry and impatient in my life. Now, what was that showing me? It was like, all right, son, you want to be patient? Well, let me just show you what you really are first. You are impatient. You do not know how to breathe and be still in the midst of urgency. After that 6 months, I was like, traffic? Where? I was learning, I was praying, I was blessing everybody. Now, I was a new person. I was a bigger into capacity at the end of that. That was answered prayer. That was, I want to have big muscles. It's not poof. Here, I'm your trainer. Here's the weight plan. Start lifting, kid. It's like, oh, why me? This is terrible. But at the end of 6 months, 3 months, whatever, right? So there is work to do, but the difference is not, I'm trying to make muscles happen from like the outside in, but rather from inside out. And I'll say one other thing, and then I want to turn it back to you because I can talk forever on this. But abundance, your demonstration of real wealth and abundance, we think it's about, I do all this stuff and something comes to me. And that is not how life works. Now, it might look like something's coming to you, but abundance, the demonstration of real wealth, is not about how much comes to you, but how much comes through and from you. How much love, how much joy, how much juice, how much inspiration, how much generosity, how much creativity. When a fruit tree blossoms, somebody doesn't come along and a bunch of birds don't flap over and hang fruit on the tree, right? It emerges out of the branches. Because if somebody hung the fruit, it wouldn't belong to the tree and it would rot. And if we're trying to get something that is not ours by right of consciousness because it isn't emergent in our consciousness, you won't be able to hold on to it. And you'll be using all this energy to hold on to this fruit that isn't yours. And it will start to make the tree sick. And that's also what we do. But when you understand how to activate it within you, how to generate it from within you, because you are a divine power plant. You are designed to create the way the whole universe did. The universe had nothing seemingly, and out of no thingness, everything emerged. You too are designed out of no thing to manifest the universe, or even out of a terrible situation. When my son died, of course, that is the most unimaginable and unthinkable tragedy a parent can go through. And he is and was the love of my life. And I loved him with all of my being. And it was a divine love, because a love for a child, for you parents, it's beyond human. And of course, it shattered me in so many ways. I cried for 2.5 years, almost 3 years straight, every single day. And not just little boo-hoo, but like on the ground, on my knees in a puddle. Because I had this practice, I could witness that. I could let that fire roar through me and do its work. But I still don't. I wouldn't wish it upon my enemy if I had one. But nevertheless, when that happened, when the container that had held my love was shattered, I didn't lose the love. The love was liberated.
Yeah.
And the love got to get bigger, not smaller, until I could begin to have moments of experiencing not just the love of a father for his son, but the love of the father for the son. And I don't mean that religiously either, although if you're into that, you can take it that way. But like the grand love of the universe for its creation. And what that allowed me to do is to fulfill a much bigger prayer of mine that I've had for 20 years, which is to be a pure instrument of divine love. Right? And again, be careful what you pray for, kids. Disclaimer, right? So I got in traffic when I prayed for patience. I got into this experience of what appeared to be a tragic human loss when I prayed to be a pure instrument of divine love. Now, I'm not saying if you pray for that, that's going to happen to you. That was my unique initiation. So don't be afraid. People, I put all these disclaimers in there, but to understand that when you pray a big prayer, when you say yes to a big life and a big vision, like that little acorn looking up at the oak trees and going, oh my God, why do I have such a yearning for that? I want that. It's crazy, but I want to be that. What's going to start happening to the acorn? Its whole identity is going to start to crack.
So just for time, because can you believe it? We're almost out. It's crazy how fast this goes. I know, right? But to recap, because I want to make sure our audience gets this. The first step is to realize that you actually are whole and complete.
Yes.
Then it is to understand that what's in the way is the way.
Yes.
Right? And then to look, where is the nourishment? Where's the gift? That's how I like to say. Where's the nourishment? Where's the gift? Yeah. And is there any other steps we're missing?
And embrace, to understand that when you make a big prayer and have a big vision, if you're stuck in a small world view, it's going to have to shake you out of that. And there will be loss. You have to die to old beliefs, but that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or that anything's wrong. That's the process of birthing the next level of your life, of your tree, of your potential. And then you go back to step one, whole and complete, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet.
Amazing. You're amazing. I adore you. Thank you for who you're being and all that you're doing in the world. Seriously. Thank you, Derek. He's got lots of love for us today. Look at this. Go to www.awakenedwealthmastery.com/all-access/. He's got so many gifts there, so many trainings, videos. What a gift. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to have you on at the end, so hold tight. But thank you, Derek. I appreciate you. See ya. Goes too fast. All right. It is now time for Mantra Magic. This is the part where we help reprogram our brains, because our brains get into loops. We get into stories that don't serve us. And if we can put a nice story in there and we can sing it on a loop, it starts changing things inside, from the inside out. So here is your mantra for the week. You can find it every week on Instagram at Amy Joy Coaching, or right here on YouTube, E360 TV, and Facebook. Love you, all my peeps. Mwah. I am a light in the world. I am a light. I am a light in the world. I am a light. Shine, 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 shine. Make today glorious. Mwah! Beautiful. Amazing. Now it is time for meditation moments. So grab the kids, the grandkids, anybody in the home. run, come, sit down, get into a comfortable position for meditation moment. It's just 5 minutes. All right, this is our moment to take 5 minutes to get present. We're going to use the beautiful music from Gary Malkin. He's a dear friend, multi-Emmy winner, and he's shared this music with us. So take a deep breath in and exhale. In this next exhale, I want you to really let it hang out. Ready? Breathe in and exhale. Just get it all out. It's called Serene Mind Practice. I learned it from my beautiful spiritual teachers in ECHM, the World Center for Enlightenment. All right, take a deep breath in. And just notice your breath. Notice how the air moves along your nose, how your lungs are filled. And now notice, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling crappy? Are you feeling happy? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad, just notice. Let's say interesting. And breathe. And now I want you to realize and be aware of what thoughts are passing through your mind right now. Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of the future? Memories and fantasies? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad, just notice. Or are they thoughts of right here, right now? Now I want you to visualize a candle right in front of you. Notice the golds, the yellows, oranges, reds, whites. And slowly slide that candle right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. And breathe. With your hands on your heart, I want you to think of one thing that you are so grateful for. It brings a smile to your face. Gratitude is the rocket ship to joy. And while you're doing that, I'm going to send you an energetic activation. It's called a Diksha. Know that it's sent with so much love. All you have to do is set the intention to receive. Take a deep breath in. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Beautiful. Thank you for doing that. We're going to have Derek come back. Amazing. How was that for you, Derek?
Beautiful.
Yay. 5 minutes of bliss, presence. It's an amazing thing. So we want to hear your golden nugget.
So now I got nothing because you just put me in such a deep place.
Well, let me explain the question while you think for a minute.
No, I know. I'm on the mountaintop. Yes?
Yeah, and the whole world's listening and paying attention.
Yes. I mean, I'm not much for sound bites, but the most basic thing is to come back where we began and understand that the truth that makes us free is that you are not in the world, but the whole world is in you, in your heart, in your consciousness. And the only place you have to win the argument, win the war, and make the connection is there, in the soul, in the well of your being, in the fountain of you. And that's why the original OG self-help guru, the Oracle of Delphi, said, know thyself. And then I would add, be thyself. Those are the two master principles. Make contact with this part of you. Make it your priority. Love that part of you with all your heart, and then commit to opening out a way for that imprisoned splendor to be released into your life.
Imprisoned splendor. What? I love that so much. Imprisoned splendor. We actually have a few minutes. We're so lucky. I don't know how that happened, but I think we're getting some help. Imprisoned splendor. More, please.
Well, that's actually from a poem by Robert Browning. And it's based on, again, the idea that we believe truth and the things we want are outside of us, but it's all inside of us. And it's been covered up and covered around by our mortal material perception of ourselves as just this body, but that we really are the center and the source of all creation, all truth, all life, and all love. And he talked about, therefore, we must open out a way from whence the imprisoned splendor may escape. I say, whatever's missing is what you're not giving, and whatever you're waiting for, you're waiting with, and you're weighing it down. And this is the ultimate weight loss program.
Ooh, can you say that one more time, please?
Yeah, whatever's missing is what you're not giving, because it's all in you. Yep. And whatever you're waiting for, you're weighing it down, you're holding it back. And that's just your idea that something has to change. Yeah. But this is the ultimate weight loss program. When you let go of the WAIT and you say yes to your yes, and you begin to live as if you are not just a light in the world, but the light of the world, the same light that lights up every man and woman that comes into the world, which you are. As you begin to act like that, to give and to love and to serve yourself and everyone from that place, you open out a way for that imprisoned splendor. It's been imprisoned by the belief that you're just a person, that you just had a birth and you'll have a death, that you're just this body and you're limited by location. All of that is a lie.
Yep.
That's the point.
Absolutely. I heard this once. We are all the same light. We're just at different stages of recognizing it.
Exactly. There's only one.
Sir, go ahead.
No, just what you said. There's only one. And we even know this now from quantum physics and new physics that are discovering that actually time and space is relative. And therefore, what reality is not time and space, which means it must be infinite, eternal, and indivisible. So it must be one. And you are an expression and an emanation of that one. Not just a piece of God or this infinite good, but all of it expressing in a unique and unprecedented and unrepeatable way. But we have to believe it, and then we have to act, as Gandhi said, become the change we want to see in our world, in our family, in our life.
Absolutely. Derek, thank you again. Thank you for your wisdom, for your light, and how that is impacting the planet and helping everyone else remember their light and see their light and experience that. What did you say?
Release the imprisoned splendor.
Yes, release the imprisoned splendor. Love it. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Those of you watching now or in the future, I love you. Thank you for spending your very, very, very precious time with us today. Remember that together we vibrate higher And that, my friends, changes the world. Mwah! Besos. We'll see you next time.
Much love.
Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.